a quick word about the state of our economy.
If you think things have been bad lately, but double-dip recession is very real. Record deficits, near double-digit unemployment.
It obviously is sort of common sense to think that we're not going to be building as many homes.
We are making progress.
But the job losses still continue and continue and continue.
Yes, but it's not 12 or 13 or 15. In that sense, it works.
1 in 7 Americans living in poverty.
That inspiration's dying.
I've been a little amused over the last couple of days where people have been having these rallies about taxes. You would think they would be saying thank you.
479,000 new jobless claims in the past week.
Are really struggling. It's official, we are in a recession.
There isn't any doubt we're moving in the right direction.
The world growth in the future around the world can't depend on the United States as much as it did in the past.
This was supposed to be the summer of recovery.
It just looks like he's not involved.
Barack Obama's been so invisible. He's been on vacation.
When is he going to actually do something?
Hey, hold on a second.
2 days of media events.
Layoffs in August falling to a 10-year low.
3 days of fundraising.
The numbers are staggering.
4 commemorations.
The possibility of a double-dip recession.
We will not
days of vacation.
Foreclosures and homes being auctioned and home prices continuing to fall.
6 sports events and 7 days of golf.
Huge amount of damage to the economy.
First family planning a vacation for the 5th time since July.
Spain on $75,000 a day. You can't miss it. A fantastic thing. President Obama has just redecorated the Oval Office.
Speaker Pelosi is reportedly asking for a much bigger jet.
With people losing their homes and people losing their jobs, this is what we're going to have Congress talk about today? I haven't got enough money to feed my family.
Make no mistake, we are headed in the right direction.
This is a White House and a president that's frankly anti-business.
We're mortgaging the future of our children and grandchildren at record rates, and that is not only an issue of fiscal irresponsibility.
I say we move forward.
It's an issue of immorality.
In 1981, our critics charged that letting you keep more of your earnings would trigger an inflationary explosion, send interest rates soaring, and destroy our economy. Well, we cut your tax rates anyway, by nearly 25%. And what that helped trigger was falling inflation, falling interest rates, and the strongest economic expansion in 30 years.
The worst deficit comes from a recession. And if we can take the proper action in the proper time, this can be the most important step we could take to prevent another recession. That is the right kind of a tax cut, both for your family budget and the national budget, resulting from a permanent basic reform and reduction in our rate structure, a creative tax cut, creating more jobs and income, and eventually more revenue.
That's the cost of red tape. And I called my friend Don Shamey at Next Tier Bank, and I said, Don, we've known each other since we were kids. Our wives know each other. Our kids grew up together. We do a lot of things together. I've done business with you for 40 years. You're right across the street from me. Don, tell me about the new regulations. He said, well, Mike, if you take a look at it, there's 1,100 pages now that are the definition of whether you're a qualified borrower or not. I said, it only took 1,100 pages for the government to determine what the definition is of a qualified borrower. Are you kidding me? Do you mean to sit here and say that you are serious?
By lowering everyone's tax rates all the way up the income scale, each of us will have a greater incentive to climb higher, to excel, to help America grow. The power of these incentives would send one simple, straightforward message to an entire nation. America, go for it. To young Americans wondering tonight, where will I go? What will I do with my future? I have a suggestion. Why not set out with your friends on the path of adventure and try to start up your own business? Follow in the footsteps of those 2 college students who launched one of America's great computer firms from the garage behind their house. You too can help us unlock the doors to a golden future. You too can become leaders in this great new era of progress, the age of the entrepreneur.
You want to talk about the thousands and thousands of pages that we put on the backs of the job creators? You want to talk about creating jobs in America? When you want to see a nation that doesn't want to participate but wants to dominate in the world market, then let them rise. Take the heavy boot off the throat of America's job creators and let them breathe. The jobs we are talking about are not red jobs or blue jobs. They are red, white, and blue jobs. They are not Democrat jobs or Republican jobs or independent jobs or libertarian jobs. They are American jobs. If you want this country to thrive and not just survive, then please start playing the game by the rules and stop this ridiculous mockery of what it is that we do here in this town. We are so out of touch with the American people, and you know what all this does? It adds layer after layer after layer of cost. And that cost is ultimately paid for by the American consumer. You want to have more revenues? Then let the tide rise for all boats. Let us be able to not only survive, but to thrive. I urge all my colleagues on both sides now, this is not a left or right issue. This is an American issue. I urge you to rise today and vote for H.R. 4078. Let's let America get back to work. And with that, I yield back.
It will include an across-the-board, top-to-bottom cut in both corporate and personal income taxes. It will include long-needed tax reforms that logic and equity demand. And it will date that cut in taxes to take effect as of the start of next year, January 1963. The billions of dollars this bill will place in the hands of the consumer and our businessmen will have both immediate and permanent benefits to our economy. Every dollar released from taxation that is spent or invested will help create a new job and a new salary. And these new jobs and new salaries can create other jobs and other salaries, and more customers and more growth for an expanding American economy.
People fit to govern themselves, to rule themselves, to control themselves. I believe they are. I am not leading this fight as a matter of aesthetic pleasure. I am leading because somebody must lead, or else the fight would not be made at all.
We can and will resolve the problems which now confront us. And after all, why shouldn't we believe that? We are Americans.